In this video, I'm going to discuss Sterling versus Maddison. I'm going to tell you whether it's worth starting, benching or selling your Brighton asset, and I've made a free transfer that'll get revealed as well. Building from the back, Pickford gets the nod against Sheffield United away, that's whilst Turner faces Chelsea away. I'll be honest, I think picking Pickford was a mistake. I'm an Everton fan myself, and I know how bad our defence is. I was far too fixated on rotating him with Turner because the fixtures look ideal. The alternative was Flecken, but Brentford and Forest's defensive fixtures didn't rotate well. Now I played Turner in game week 2 whilst I've got Pickford, and I would have played Turner in game week 2 if he had Flecken as well. So going off the scores between Pickford and Flecken in game week 1 and game week 3 combined, Flecken's only outscored Pickford by 2 points. I've got away with it there. Now I've got to ask myself the question, is it worth selling Pickford? And I don't think it is. They still rotate well in the fixtures, they've got decent clean sheet odds, and if I spend a free transfer on that position, I think it's wasted because I don't think there's many points to gain. If you're looking to buy a goalkeeper this game week, I would go for Sanchez if you've not already got a Chelsea triple up. Moving into defence, I'm actually starting Baldock against Everton at home over Estupinian against Newcastle at home. There are a couple of reasons for this. Obviously Sheffield United's got the easier fixture, but they've also got the higher clean sheet odds this game week. Estupinian has more attacking threat, but it doesn't compensate for that, plus Baldock's quite attacking himself anyway. Brighton have a poor block of fixtures coming up, and I did consider selling Estupinian for that reason, but I don't see any point when I can play Baldock this game week, and hopefully Bayer's recovered next game week so I can play him. I just don't think there's many points to be gained in defence there. I did consider the alternatives, but my top 2 defenders to own I already own anyway, I'll discuss them soon. I also considered Trippier, but he's got a difficult fixture in the same match. He faces Brighton away, that's tough for him. I might move Estupinian to Trippier next game week though, we'll see about that. Next up is Ruben Diaz against Fulham at home. I fancy him to get a clean sheet at the Etihad. To be fair, I did fancy his chances last game week against Sheffield United away, and they got a late clean sheet wipeout. To be honest, it really did annoy me. I say that because some people made the wrong decision to keep him. He didn't even get a cameo off the bench like he did in the first 2 game weeks. They got the likes of Udogie and Gusto off the bench who had hauls. I've made the right decision to sell him and got a 2-pointer from a City defender against Sheffield United with a late clean sheet wipeout. To be fair to them, it does pay to have a strong bench. They did get lucky though, and I was unlucky myself in comparison. Lastly in defence is my favourite defender to own. It's Chilwell against Forest at home. Like I mentioned in my previous videos, if you've not already got Chilwell, I'd just bite the bullet and get him in. Yeah, you've missed some points, you've missed some price rises, but there's still a block of 5 easy fixtures to go. I'd make the most of what he's got left. My last defender is Bayer, and he's the last player on the bench because he plays in Burnley's defence and he plays against Spurs. He's currently flagged in the game. I'm not sure if he will be available this game week. Hopefully he's available next game week because he faces Forest, and hopefully he can cover his Estupinian if I don't replace him. Moving on to midfield, I've got Rashford who I brought in last game week, and luckily enough that was a success. He got 2 assists. I replaced him with Salah who got 1 assist, but it was still an improvement, and I've got 3 mil in the bank to spend. In fact, I have spent that this game week. I've upgraded one of my midfielders, and I'm going to discuss that in a moment. I've got his teammate Bruno as well. They've both got a difficult fixture against Arsenal away, but in the long run, United don't have a string of difficult fixtures, so I don't mind keeping them for the long term. They're not overpriced, they've got decent underlying stats, plus Bruno got a goal and assist in his last fixture as well. Another player that I plan on keeping for the foreseeable future is Saka. He plays in the same fixture, he's got United at home, so I'd say that's easier for him. Not only has he got the home advantage, but United's defence isn't as good as Arsenal's, plus Varane's just got injured. Recently it looked like Odegaard took penalty duties off Saka, and that was concerning, but Saka recently took a penalty, so it looks like he's retained them. Hopefully he continues to take them going forward. Next up, I did have Matoma in midfield, but because of Brighton's unfavourable fixtures, I've decided to sell him for someone who's got favourable fixtures. There were 2 main candidates for me, either Sterling or Maddison. So far this season, Maddison's been heavily involved in the Spurs attack. Not only has he had set piece duties, but his underlying stats from open play have been brilliant as well. As for Sterling, he's been playing closer to goal. His underlying stats aren't quite as good, but they're still impressive, especially in that last match. Something that he did prove in that last match, and he's proven in previous seasons, is that he's got a higher ceiling than Maddison. To be fair to Maddison, he has got a higher floor, so I think he's a safer pick, but when I'm picking my attacking players, I prefer that explosive potential. Another thing is that I am a fixture man. If you look at those first 5 fixtures for Chelsea, I can have a nice block of fixtures there, then shift him on as they get difficult, or if he does perform way above expectations, I have the option to keep him as well. As for Maddison, he still has an easy block of fixtures, and I could own him for a bit longer, but he has got at least one difficult fixture in there. You could say that about the Liverpool one. It depends how long Van Dijk's suspended for. He did give a bit of abuse to the ref, so let's see if it gets extended. Either way, until Van Dijk returns, Liverpool as an attacking fixture will remain as medium, and they will go back up to harder when he does return. Anyway, based on what I discussed earlier, I prefer Sterling over Maddison, but only slightly. Lastly, in midfielders, and Mbeumo against Bournemouth at home. He did blank last game week, but I've got confidence in him. He scored 23 points in his first 2 game weeks, and I think he's going to score plenty more. In fact, with him having penalty duties, playing closer to goal out of position, and he's having an easy fixture at home against Bournemouth, he's going to be my vice-captain this game week. And of course, my captain's going to be Haaland against Fulham at home. I don't think there's any competition there. Fulham have actually got the worst defensive numbers so far this season. I think City are going to batter them. My last player in my first team is Jackson against Forest at home. That's a nice easy fixture. He got a goal in his last match. Hopefully he continues that now. Like I mentioned earlier, Chelsea have got a favourable block of 5 fixtures now, so he's going nowhere and he completes the Chelsea triple up. Lastly is Asula against Everton at home. Hopefully he does get minutes. He has got minutes up until this point, but going forward I think Archer will be the best option. So what I'm going to have to do is try and find an extra free transfer at some point so I can replace him, because I do want someone as backup on the bench. If you've made it to this point in the video, you might as well subscribe because you clearly found it informative. If you need any help with your FPL team, just leave a comment below and I will give you free advice.